Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we're relaxing as per usual. Yeah. What are we gonna talk about today? I don't know. Who knows? We are going to talk about the fact that I'll be doing a fun activity tomorrow. What is it? I don't know. Well, okay, now I know part of it, as I said, it's going to be part of the sensory deprivation tank. Don't know what the rest of it is though, because apparently I need to bring four more enough attire, you know? Anyway, good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 9:51 PM on Thursday, September 18th, 2025. I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know what to expect, but I've got my stuff basically, well, it's not actually in the bag yet. I've basically got it on the bed and I'll move it to a bag later. So yeah, I mean, that's not very exciting, I suppose to say, but I also completely forgot I need to set some alarms just to make sure I get up at a reasonable hour for it. I can turn this one off and probably turn this one up as well. Why so? Because apparently we're leaving quite early at 8, which is, I mean, it's like fine, because it's like, that's not that different from, I suppose, work sort of timings, but I don't know, that seems like surprisingly early. Earlier than what I would have expected, but who knows? I don't know what this is going to do, what it's going to mean. We're just going to sort of find out, I suppose. Anywho, what should we talk about today? I'm not really sure. How did D&D go yesterday? It was very interesting. It's the most sitcom-like session I think we've had. Or, maybe not. Maybe the session before was more sitcom-like. But this one was also reasonably sitcom-like, to be honest. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember the feeling. Oh, yeah. It was basically the misadventures of one of the characters. Because apparently the player didn't hear that one of the characters said they were going to go to this location, and then this character, they all played it as basically them being like, this character is missing, essentially. I don't know, it was a lot of weird shenanigans. A lot of it I was just sort of sitting there being like, okay, and then what do you do? Because at that point, as a DM, you just got to be like, alright, I mean, you're clearly making this bed, what are you going to do? You know? You're going to sit in it. But yeah. I mean, we're not going to talk about that the entire time, so what else are we going to talk about? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm sort of just relaxing, having a good time at the moment. I am looking forward though to whatever tomorrow holds. I'm not really sure, you know. See, this is a thing where I was like, I expected it to be just a sensory deprivation thing, but the fact it's a whole day makes me go like, I don't even know what it could possibly mean. And you might be like, dear darling, how are you with surprises in the first place? I would say average to below average with surprises. I'm not as bad as I used to be, I think. But I think the thing I generally say is like, you can leave whatever the thing is as a surprise, I just need to know when it's happening, essentially. Like, I'm not sure how I'd feel if I had just like came home one day and then just like, oh, there's a surprise party waiting for me. But I'd be like, iffy on. But if it was like, oh, on this day, something's gonna happen. Be here at this time and bring this. And I'd be like, okay, that suits me just fine. I think part of it is just sort of like, not like I need to organise my life around it, but like, part of it is that sense of organisation in a certain degree. Like, maybe I come home one day and I was like, oh, you know, I was actually planning on recording this day because I specifically didn't record on the day before because I didn't have like a backlog or something. Does that make a big difference? No, of course not. Like, these are not like world-ending, life-threatening risks or something. This is more like mild inconveniences. And you know me when it comes to efficiency and optimization regarding mild inconveniences. But yes. Okay, so we'll put it here. And I was trying to figure out whether Lily or Valley should go. That's not what we're going to talk about today. What are we going to talk about today? Good question. Should we think of a random topic? I'm trying to think of one. You know, what I did think of, which it was part of a conversation I had today essentially, but there is a store chain called Argos in UK, and I can't remember, but like we passed by, and nowadays Argos is very different from the Argos I used to go to when I was younger. Because Argos nowadays is, you know, more modern. Certainly, it's got like this red and white aesthetic. Like black, red, and white is probably how I describe it. And like the inside is all like this very sleek black, red, and white. It's got like these computer terminals and stuff which you use to be as the catalogue to actually find your items. But I was talking about the fact like what Argos used to look like. But the Argos I remember is a much more sort of retro Argos with a cerulean blue main motif colour than like red as a sort of like highlight colour. And how it used to have these catalogues, which were the absolute highlight. You walk in and there's basically this giant box, I suppose, or stand, maybe is a better way to put it, of just loads and loads of Argos catalogues, which you would basically just pick up and it was crazy. It was basically a catalogue of almost like every item they had, and then there was like a little code, numerical code next to it, because the idea was you would look through the catalogue, and then there'd be like a little machine which you would type in the code, and then it would check and be like, oh, do we have it in stock or not for you? And it says if it does, it'd be like, yes, we have X, Y, Z amount in stock. And if not, it'd say that you don't have it in stock. And then I think you would like push a button on it. I can't remember. I didn't actually order things very often with it. You would go to a different like stand thing which had like I don't even remember on it. Or maybe you go up to like the counter and you'd be like, I want this item, and it has like this serial number, and then they give you a ticket, and then you wait at the delivery, sort of like the pickup thing, where there's people sort of running back and forth into the warehouse collecting these items as they're requested. Sort of like nowadays, you know, like how fast food works. You enter something into the kiosk and then you wait at the pickup. It's basically that, but with like generic items. And for me, when I was younger, very much toys. Like Argos was just like a department store essentially, and yeah, I think it's a very nostalgic thing for any UK kids. I don't know if Argos is UK only, to be fair. It is British. Okay, there you go. That you would basically just sort of browse through the catalogues, and then for no apparent reason you would just check if, like, you'd see a toy you like and you check if it's in stock, and then you would just be like, oh, if I wanted to, I could buy this item, and that would be really fun for some reason. There's also the fun game of just mashing buttons and then pressing enter on the stock checker to see if you'd get an actual item. You like mash it in and be like, whoa, look, I got like an outside barbecue or something. Or you mash it in again, you'd be like, whoa, look at this, I got like a set of free weights or something. It's very, very nostalgic. Like, you can look it up probably. You search Argos, ARGOS stock checker or something like that. Yeah, these blue machines, these are the most nostalgic things I've ever seen, to be honest. This, like, because I remember there was like this shopping centre I used to go to as a child, and it had an Argos there, which me and my family would always go to. Maybe a cap or something tomorrow? What? What on earth are we doing tomorrow? So there was just, it was on my phone, it's being like, what are we doing? What is the weather tomorrow? Apparently it's 20, it's surprisingly warm, 24, okay, noted. I was going to wear like a sweater or something, but knowing that it's 24 degrees, that's actually quite warm. I don't know what I'm going to wear, to be honest. Had to figure that out. But yeah, that's, it was a sort of like a wave of nostalgia, and walking into the store now, I was just like, wow, it's just so modern. Like, I can't deny that probably it's more efficient or something this way or whatever, but I don't know. I guess I got hit with a wave of nostalgia for what was lost, in a sense. Is it better or worse? I do, who knows? I'm not even going to deign to sort of try and guess. But it's very much something which is different, you know, and maybe that's a sign of getting older, where you see something and you're like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, apparently they did a rebranding like in the 2010s or something random like that. It's like there's these big store rebrandings. Oh gosh. Obviously, I don't know, put in for a reason to like change, like, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, I suppose, from the standpoint of it might rebrand, you know, something like they have a different sense of direction, they want to like change up their image and the appeal that they have or something, modernize it, their looks for the times. Certainly if I look at the Argos stock checker now and the colour scheme we use, it would make me think of like, oh, this is so like 90s or something, or 60s maybe, 70s, I don't know when it opened up, but it feels very retro, doesn't it? But nowadays it looks more modern. But I'm sure like in 20, 30 years time, or this modern aesthetic of this like these clean white, black, and then one accent colour sort of panels, which is used throughout everywhere. Oh, I just got a text for some reason. Okay, interesting. That sort of thing is probably going to look incredibly dated. I don't know, maybe we'll go back to a different source of aesthetic. It's hard to think of what aesthetic you might travel to, because at least a minimalist sort of viewpoint, while certainly kind of look a bit dystopian, does appeal to me a little bit. I do like my minimalist stylings, but like I don't even know if I can predict what the style might be 30 years time or something. You know, retro stylings having a bit more of these interesting colour palettes, I suppose, together. Vintage has a much more sort of like muted colour palettes, but also more ornate designs as well. Maybe it's just even more reductive. Maybe like in 30 years time we'll have like monocolour as a sort of thing. I don't know. Every single new aesthetic choice is always a rehash of something so many years ago. Everything's a cycle. Anyway, so they rebranded in like 2010 or something. And then, you know, I don't even know when it happened. Like I wasn't I would say I wasn't like aware of it happening. It just sort of happened at some point where like, oh, Argos is no longer a cerulean blue, it's now like this red, white and black. And it happens a lot with like, you know, or reasonably commonly with a lot of different companies as they do things. Well, I think at least. Sorry, a little bit of a pause after we I don't even remember what I was talking about anymore. What was I talking about? Hold on. I'm trying to think. Let's retrace my steps. Oh, rebranding, that's it. I wonder what the biggest rebrands in history are. You know, but what, maybe not in history, but most iconic ones. Let's see. Biggest rebrands. Burberry? 13 most successful rebrands ever. It's always these like clickbait sort of titles, eh? Dunkin' Donuts to Dunkin'? What? Is that successful? Because I thought we were Dunkin' Donuts still. Burberry. Okay. Rebranding magic. And now they're all the rage. So they were for the everyman, and now they're more like a design sort of thing. MailChimp, I don't even know who. GSK. These aren't McDonald's rebrand ages up? What? Okay, I mean, I guess kind of like with from their retro sort of 90s style into something more modern. I mean, I don't think it counts if they're selling new products, right? I'm talking about like aesthetic rebrands, if anything. That's what I'm looking for. Apparently Walmart rebranded. How about that? Starbucks coffee. I don't know if that's the best one. Cooperative? Okay, you know what? I think that's actually a pretty good one. The new logo. I do think about that new logo. I don't think about the cooperative. Cooperative makes it sound very corporate, doesn't it? A co-op. Feels a lot chiller, doesn't it? Biggest rebrands in 2024. I didn't realise some of these even happened. What? Jaguar? Lost of Jaguar? I mean, there is something to be said about the loss with the drive to minimalism, I suppose, when it comes to actually rebranding things. That's certainly a shame. Some of them lose a lot of personality. Some of them are fine, I think. But like a Burger King one, I think looks okay actually. Oh yeah, Instagram's one I've got of like going from a retro camera to going to the rainbow twilight sunset one. I remember when that first happened, I was like, what? I don't like this. But now I'm like, no, I kind of jive with it, I guess. Not sponsored by way of this corporate stuff. Fuck you, got rebranded as well. They lost the hard line colours and now using gradients. I mean, I saw a conversation about this, and it's because like these hard sort of block colours were very much of a 2010s, maybe early 2020s things, but nowadays gradients are very much the sort of go-to design choice. Do they still feel fundamentally the same? I suppose so. Sister X, I don't know if that one really counts. That's a perhaps I would say that's a bit of the opposite of one. Twitter, iconic. But yeah, I don't know. Rebranding is just crazy. Argos is one of the entire color palette, which just sort of changed up, and I'm just like, whoa, can't believe it. I mean, it's not really that big a deal, but it's just sort of like a that's what I was used to. With a rebranding, part of what I knew about it died. And that's the saddest thing ever. Well, okay, not really that sad. Anyway, on that note, I think I'll round this episode up here. Turns out I didn't really have much to say about this. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's up, farewell. So until next time. Bye-bye for now.